What's the most important task of being a professional driver? After Brexit, it's having to do thousands of pounds worth of training to do the same job that you did before. A driver's CPC to drive in Europe. European countries have much more stringent, much more difficult professional driver requirements. But Britain had it easy, and then we made it more difficult for ourselves. The government are paying jokers these thousands of pounds to do lessons that are abortion, and management that's abortion. It's a shame on the Department of Education. That's an introduction to the context, and now the nitty-gritty. Vehicle checks. I know, if you've got a petrol car, you're not even doing as much as turning the key, waiting for a second for the fuel to pump through and the coils to warm up, like diesel drivers often aren't aware that they should do. But vehicle checks. When you get in your car, every person that drives 15 minutes of vehicle checks. For a professional driver, this counts as working time. For a casual driver, shall I call you? The DVLA says if your vehicle is not safe, you risk an incident, prohibition, fine and penalty points on your licence. This is how you do a vehicle check. Check inside the vehicle: front view, mirrors, cameras and glasses, windscreen wipers and washers, dashboard warning lights and gauges, steering, horn, brakes and air build-up. Height marker, seat belts and cab interior, security and condition of the cab, doors and steps. You check outside the vehicle: lights and indicators, fuel and oil leaks, security of body and wings, the battery security and condition, diesel exhaust fluid, which everyone knows as AdBlue, excessive engine exhaust smoke, high voltage emergency cut-off switch, alternative fuel systems and isolation, and spray suppression. That's some brushes around your wheel arches. Tyres and wheel fixing, brake lines and trailer parking brake, electrical connections, coupling security. We all want to check that, especially around Valentine's Day, birthdays and Christmas. Security of the load, number plate, reflectors, markings and warning plates and other miscellaneous equipment. People have got used to AdBlue now. It doesn't tend to be referred to as pig's piss, as it once was in the inertia days. If you haven't got all those things on your car, it might be because it's not a HGV, a heavy goods vehicle. Thank you for watching, but you might be on the wrong video, but please like and subscribe before you go. But you wouldn't think vehicle driver checks were important. They want you to buy the wall chart, the poster, the image that you can clip to the back of your clipboard. And it isn't provided in the training. You have to go searching for it. What is provided in the training is the Eat Well guide. You would have thought, from what you know, that a heavy goods vehicle driver eats well, wouldn't you? But you've got to have the right 5 a day knowledge to pass your driver's test. Fruit and vegetables, potatoes, bread, rice, pasta and other starchy carbohydrates. Not so much of, perhaps. Beans, pulses, fish, eggs, meat and other proteins. Yes, you need plenty of those. Dairy and other dairy alternatives. Perhaps not so much of those. Oils and spreads. And an awful lot of water. You need litres of water per day. How does that work with motorway driving? All HGV drivers should have catheters fitted. And you have to know what will happen to you if you don't have these. If you're diabetic, you probably don't want to have those sugary carbs or that milk that will spike your insulin levels. Fruits, well, lots of sugars in that, so you might want to have multivitamins for those vitamins and minerals. But gone are the days of HGV driver, trucker, popping pills to earn the money. Tramping and service station all English fry-ups. Since Brexit, we have to call it the all English rather than the full English. But can we come to America and work as a trucker? Know that it's not 55 miles an hour everywhere, it might just about be bearable. A sort of busman's holiday of abject poverty tourism on Route 66. I do hope that the British government is training enough drivers, professional drivers, to have another British invasion of America. No Beatles this time, or androgynous pop stars, but drivers possibly. The training does steer you away from those American sugary drinks. It warns you about red meat. But while you shouldn't have the bap, the bun, burgers don't really have much red meat in them. It's all cereal. You shouldn't really have the cereal. When you're stopping over tramping at a roadhouse, you should only have 14 units of alcohol per week. And that over 3 days. But if you're trying to cut down, don't drink for several days a week. So we seem to be exporting our binge drinking Britain. It's a labour exchange, though. At GCHQ, Government Communication Listening Headquarters, where all the spies live, Americans are given first dibs for the security clearance, and they consider all British as compromised. The British drivers will want to go there because it's the Wild West. The British drivers will want to go there because it's the Wild West. Driver hours. Eddie Stobart, the biggest, most automated haulier. Haulier, I said, you're back at the roadhouse, aren't you? Economies of scale and computerised programming efficiencies just doesn't make up for pushing your drivers well beyond their working hours. If we were to consider anything over working hours as a type of slavery, having your own business as a way of making it attractive to work under the minimum hourly wage. Yes, boredom is a factor, but 45 hours a week, you can do 80-hour week, sat on your backside. Double your earnings, retire early and die shortly after from a heart attack from all the greasy food. Stopping distances, that brings me to, I have to confess, miles per hour and feet are easier. It was first worked out a long time ago, perhaps when winter tyres didn't really exist and you didn't have the same grip on the road. At 20 miles an hour, you can double that and your stopping distance is 40. Now, for every 10 miles an hour above that, you can add 0.05. So you've gone from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 miles an hour, and your stopping distances are multiplying that by 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5 and 4. 6 times 4 is 24. So at 60 miles an hour, your stopping distance is 240. What's the units, I hear you cry? Yards. Yards. WTF is that? Well, it's the length of your master's walking stick. Not in some quaint Downton Abbey sense. It's feudal and medieval. It's America.